up your butt, Joe Boo.
Yo, bartender! Joe Boo needs a refill. And watch out! Hustle,
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Uski and Herbie. I'm one third of Uski and Herbie here. April 21st, 2021. It's 10:07 in the morning. We're waiting for Coach Sherman Reed, the head coach of Coppin State, to join us here at 10:05. What's the schedule coming up here? Coach Reed will be supposed to be here at 10:05. And then at 10:15, Coach Taylor from Drexel softball should be joining us at 10:15. And then our good friend Nikki Murphy, who's celebrating a birthday today, she'll be joining us at 10:30. And then at 10:45, we have Mark Mason, the head coach, the manager of New York Revolution, will be joining us at 10:45. And then at 11, our friend Matt Tyler, who is the head coach of Towson Baseball, will be on the bus heading down to Arlington, Virginia today, because Towson's playing GW in baseball, so he'll be talking to us from the bus. At 11:15, John Wester, who is the Hartford Community College softball coach, will be joining us at 11:15. And then we got all over the place here. Chris Kuhlmeyer, who is the head coach at the UMBC softball, will be joining us at 10:30, and then we'll wrap up the show at 11:45 with Rob Ducey, who is the former major leaguer who used to play for the Blue Jays, Phillies, Angels, Expos, you name it. He probably played like maybe a stop or two. So we're waiting for Coach Reed to join us here. Hopefully he has no issues with a lot. Coppin State was supposed to play a game this afternoon against Navy, but Navy that game got postponed due to the weather. It's supposed to be a cold front moving in here shortly to the state of Maryland. They decided to scrap that game. Coppin State will be home this weekend at Joe Cannon Stadium for a 4-game series against North Carolina A&T. Both games on Saturday, the doubleheader, and the game on Sunday will be broadcast on our good friends at WNST 1570 in Maryland. So we're waiting for Coach Reed to join us. Maybe I'll shoot him a text to see if he's ready to go here. So let's see here. Okay, so let me text him and see if he's ready to go here. Thanks for joining us here. I was supposed to join us this morning, but due to he had a doctor's appointment, so he will not be available. So we'll join. Hopefully, he'll join us next week. Are you? So we're waiting for Coach Reed to join us here. Folks, thanks for joining us this evening. This morning. We are live here on YouTube. If you want to join and watch us on YouTube, you can go right to our YouTube page at YouTube at Herbie Fun Sports Radio. And hopefully you guys will join us as well. So we're waiting for Coach Reed to join us here. Coach Reed was bringing up, Coppin State right now on the season. Not doing so well because they're having a transitional year. Last year they had a great year. They're right now 21 on this. 5. Let's see, Coppin. 5-21 on the season. So we're waiting for him to log in here. In the meantime, we'll try. If he doesn't get in before, we'll get Coach Carl Taylor will join us. Uski. Waiting for the link here. So, folks, thanks for joining us. I'm going to give you a program reminder. Tomorrow, we'll be back here. We'll be on at 6:45 to the subdivision football play 16-team playoff. Normally it's 24, but the folks that, because of the pandemic, they made it down to 16. And our good friend, our buddy, Uski, will be joining us tomorrow night, previewing those games, big games this weekend. Delaware taking on Sacred Heart at 7 o'clock. That's a local game here in City. So we're waiting for Coach Reed to join us here. But in the meantime, let's bring in Carl Taylor, who's been sitting there so nice and patiently. We'll put Reed on as soon as he can. Hi, Coach Carl. Thank you for logging in so early. I was waiting for Coach Reed, and you know, on TV shows, you got to wait for a little bit here, you know. But thanks for joining us today. Are you guys still playing with this weather coming through?
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me. Yeah, we actually moved our game from our site to Penn, and we pushed it back to the evening.
Oh, okay.
So they have turf and we don't, and we're hoping that you know, allow us to get the games in.
That's good. That's good. Talk about your team so far. You guys last weekend had a tough go with Towson, right?
Well, no, we won 2 out of 3.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, but you didn't sweep. You didn't sweep, but I'm saying, you know, they're a little bit tougher than you thought they were, right?
They were, they were. They're always tough. Everybody in our conference is. We don't really go into any conference series thinking that it's going to be a sweep for sure. If you look at their games, you know, they were swept twice, but in their series, 2 of their 3 games were always close. You know, our conference, anything can happen any given weekend. It really is quite a competitive conference. And Towson had some good ball players, and they put the ball in play, and we kind of left some runners on base in the 3rd game and didn't take care of business. But you know, every week's different with NCAA.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing some stats looking at your team. Linda Rush, I wish I was batting 500 after 26 games. Yeah, I think I had that 1 week I was batting 500, you know, in baseball, and my dad thought I was Frank Thomas for a while, you know, but I'm not really Frank Thomas, but, you know, but just talk about, she's doing it for a whole season, batting 500, and she's a grad student too, so that's some leadership to it. You know, you guys have basically like a young squad or in-between squad of
It's divided right down the middle pretty much. Half of the team's very young, and half of them's a veteran group that when I first came to Drexel, I had a large initial recruiting class, which Linda was part of. And, you know, not only is she doing it this year, if you look at her statistics, she's done this every year. Certainly, in my opinion, one of the best players, not only in our conference, but in the country. And her body of work over the 4 years, I really don't count last year because we only got 10 games in, but the statistics show she has ranked nationally, not just locally, all 4 years. She's quite a player. We'll certainly miss her next year for sure.
Yeah, how difficult was it with the pandemic? Because everybody last year, at this time, when we're talking right now, nobody was playing anything. We were watching TV and wondering if Major League Baseball was going to be joining their season. So, you know, whenever they were playing, NBA was going into a bubble, you know, I think in the next month or so. What was the reaction to you, you know, when you found out when the pandemic came and everything just went done?
Well, a lot of people think we kind of had it better than most because we were in Hawaii at the time.
Nice.
But, you know, we were enjoying ourselves, certainly. That was a big step for our program to go on a trip like that. And the girls loved it. And again, with that group that I had, my initial recruiting class, it was kind of a going away present to put that trip together for them. But we had just had a great practice at the University of Hawaii. And, we were coming together as a team. We really looked good. And then I got the phone call, and to put them in, we met down in the lounge of the hotel, and to make that announcement wasn't fun for sure. Girls took it kind of hard, but I did kind of relax the restrictions on what they could do the next 5 days. We were in Hawaii, so that made it a little easier, I'm sure. But once we got back to the mainland, reality set in, and it's been a long grind, not just for us, but for everybody. Trying to cope with the mental fallout and the emotions that come along with what's been going on. And that certainly is not only with sports, but I think in all aspects of life, it's been rough for all of us.
Yeah. What was it like being in Hawaii at that time? Was they had people in Hawaii probably didn't know what the heck was going on because it was haven't made it out there yet. Did it make it out there, or did you see what happened?
It was wide open. There was no restrictions, and people were just walking the streets, and made me think every time I saw somebody. I know that Japan had some cases, and there was a lot of Japanese tourists in Hawaii at the time. Made me think like, hey, are these people? Is anybody getting infected? Or it was definitely made things go through your mind, but. For the most part, to answer your question, it was a relaxed atmosphere. Everybody was kind of business as usual out there.
Right. That's cool. Well, I want to ask you real quick, being on YouTube TV, I saw some of your games this year on Dragon TV. What's it like being on YouTube? I know you guys don't have a play-by-play guy, because I was listening to it the other day. I'm like, is anybody doing play-by-play, or is just put the camera up and say, here, watch the game and enjoy yourself? It's like, yeah, but do you have anybody doing play-by-play, or I don't hear anybody when I was watching the Delaware game a couple weeks ago?
Well, the Delaware game was away, so usually in our conference, the home team is in charge of the stream that goes out. I know we do have a play-by-play person that does our home games. Actually, they do very good. They do a nice job, and I'm at a loss when it comes to what Delaware did. I don't know. I certainly agree with you. I wouldn't want to watch it with no sound. It'd be a little different. But
yeah, it was. I was like, am I supposed to be doing my own play-by-play? I could do it. Here's the pitch. Like they're doing now with Major League Baseball on broadcast. They're staying at the ballpark, at their home ballpark, watching a monitor now. They're not.
I think if you tune in this weekend, we'll be on Delaware. At our place, there should be a stream.
Okay, that's cool.
That should be an exciting series, actually.
Yeah, I should watch it this weekend. So tonight's game has been moved from 3:30 to 7?
5:30.
5:30. Okay, let me make a change real quick so people could actually tune in tonight when you guys are watching it, on Dragon TV. 5:30. Hopefully the weather is nice.
That's at 10. It won't be on Dragon TV. It's at 10. So. It'll be on pens if they have it. But this weekend, Friday and Saturday, will be on Dragon TV against Delaware. And we do play we play Thursday. We have added a doubleheader. I don't know if that's going to be on or not streamed against God, I'm sorry.
That works. All right, cool. Well, Coach Taylor, thank you so much for coming on this morning. Good luck this afternoon at 5:30 against Penn, and we'll talk to you hopefully before the softball tournament.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. That's Coach here on Carl Taylor, the head coach of softball. Let me bring in Coach Sherman Reed, the head coach of the Coppin State Eagles. So, Coach Reed, are you available there? How's the nice office? You got a lot of cool plaques there on the wall.
Chris, always good to be with you, man. How are you?
How's everything? Doing great. How's everything going? I know this year we were talking on the phone yesterday. You're not doing so well, 5-21, but it's growing pains because you guys have a transitional year. You got new people, new faces, and how are they adjusting to college baseball?
Yeah, and you're right, Chris. We are we've been we're happy and privileged that to say we've been the winningest team in our conference the last 2 years. We got a combined conference record of 33-13, and a good result of that. Those strong accomplishments can be put on the strong 2015 recruiting class that were responsible for a lot of individual and team records. But those guys only get 4 years of eligibility, and when they move on, you got to retool. So the 2020 class that we have was exceptional. I really feel that they're as strong a recruiting class as the 2015, but it's the growing pains with the 2020 guys, particularly having no senior year. They had their senior years in all cases. In some cases, they didn't get on the field at all for a contest. So while talented, we're experiencing a lot of growing pains with this young ball club. We've got a combination of 20 between COVID freshmen, guys that came out of the 19 class that didn't get but 13 college games under their belts, to the traditional 2020 class. Combined, we've got 20 freshmen. So, with that comes a lot of inexperienced play that kind of comes back to bite you at the most inappropriate times.
Right, exactly. Let's talk about. I was doing some research. You had a history-making kid this year for your club. 5 hits in the game. Darren Hagan against Navy early in the year. What was it like having a kid you never had somebody who had 5 hits in a game? I thought, with all the good power I saw a couple years ago when we were doing the Norfolk State game, I thought you guys would have had somebody with 5 hits in a game.
And we have, Chris, that was really a record tying performance. Just as you mentioned, we have had, I think one of the guys more recent was Nazir McIlwain, and that's a good clip showing our talented freshman Darren Hagan. But I think more recently in 2000, I believe it was 2019, Nazir McIlwain also was able to record 5 hits in one game. Darren Hagan's got all the tools to really go somewhere in this game. The kid can flat out go get the ball in center field. He's got exceptional speed and real good understanding of the strike zone. He's kind of hit a little wall, as freshmen tend to do once you get on the other side of 25 games, because it's a lot of baseball in a compacted time frame. But we're very happy with what we're getting from Darren Hagan, particularly considering we lost our conference guy to an injury, Marcos Castillo, who typically would have been our center fielder, and Darren Hagan was brought in to play a corner position.
Right, exactly. Well, you were supposed to play today against Navy, but the game got postponed because of this cold front coming through, and we don't know when this thing's going to show up because, you get different weather reports and all that stuff. What do you do in the morning of game day? Do you find out? Do you get up real early, check the weather report? Do you call Bob Turk? Do you call, the people Channel 11 and say, hey, I need an updated forecast, Meg McNamara. What's going on here? Give us an update.
And we all have had. We as head coaches, man, we become weather. That's our next career. We're real good at predicting weather, following weather patterns, checking the radar, seeing when something's coming through, when there's a possible window of drying to get some ball in. But the Navy game was actually canceled. While it doesn't look promising anyway because of the weather forecast for the day in Annapolis, the game was canceled because half of our kids got the vaccine shot. We all went down to M&T Bank Stadium as a group, and half of them got the vaccine shot yesterday, and then there's a couple others that went this morning. And we didn't want to take a chance with possible side effects, so we just banged the game for that reason, more so than the weather, which, like I said, the weather doesn't look promising anyway for baseball today.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting everybody vaccine. I got mine on my second one this past Saturday, and that was we went down to M&T Bank Stadium, and they're very quick down there. You're in, you're out.
They're good.
I was really impressed. I brought Nicole, my girlfriend, down there. She had a good time. Because she's a Ravens fan, and I'm like, okay, just walk around, enjoy yourself. And then, you're only there for like 15 minutes after the shot. But I don't know. I'm a big baby when it comes to big needles. I looked at the lady like, whoa, what is that? I'm like, geez, please get that smaller. This thing was huge.
Chris, the key is, don't look, Chris. Don't look at that.
No, I didn't look. I turned away and I was like, like this. And the lady goes, "Do you faint after you take a shot with it?" I'm like, "No, I don't faint. I'm fine." And I'm thinking to myself, "Don't go down today. No, don't do that."
Yeah, the kids enjoy going to that site for their shots because we have so many kids from different parts of the country. They got a chance to utilize that time to see M&T Bank Stadium inside, and also to walk a couple blocks down and to kind of get a glance of Camden Yard. So it turned out as a really nice little community trip for the guys.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this weekend. You got a big 4-game series coming up against a cross rival thing, in the conference thing. It's North Carolina A&T, who has been the dominant team in this league because they won a couple MEAC championships and went to the NCAA. Talk about this team, and also, folks, you don't realize this game, Saturday's header and Sunday afternoon's game is on our good friends from WNST. What was it like having those guys doing the game? Where do they sit? Because I know when I did the game with you, we were behind home plate, and we had 16 extension cords, and we looked like we had a fire hazard because the Anne County might wanted to say cut it out with all the wire. Where did they set up, behind home plate or up in the upper deck?
Yeah, we have been able to, now that we have there's a new sound system. The scoreboard is only 3 years old now, so now they go up to the kiddie box up in the top of the stairs. So everything is a little bit more updated, modern. It's just a plug in and hit the switch, and you've got the live broadcasting. And WNST has done an awesome job with that. All of our home games up to now, particularly the weekend games, have all been live broadcasts. It really helps the followers of these young men that, like I said, many of them are far away from home, to get their families a chance to get live radio broadcasts. So it's gone really, really well. We also are trying, and we're working on streaming. We're hoping next year we'll have that down. But right now, just to have the live broadcasting and the great job that the guys at WNST is doing for us has really lifted the program to new heights.
That's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys found that, because we didn't mind filling in for them for 1 week. Had a great time. We did that with you guys, and we had fun. And I still have the broadcast. Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah, and we expect Chris to have a lot. I know North Carolina A&T, they tend to have a large fan following. With this being our first interconference league series with a Southern MEAC school, it's going to be a really good fun game. I know that Baseball America and a lot of the national publications have had their eyes on this weekend, because we were still, even as young as we are, given the talent of these young guys, we were still predicted to be right there in the running for the North title. North Carolina A&T is a big-time veteran ball club. They've won more games probably in a 7-8 year span as anyone in our conference. So it's going to be a big test for our guys. And I know Coach Hall is a great coach, and I know they're having a little down year themselves. But we're looking for really good baseball games this weekend. The weather forecast may have us having to revise things somewhat. I know they're calling for a good bit of rain on Sunday, so there's a chance that we may be compacted into a 4-game series over just the Friday, Saturday. But right now we're keeping a close eye on it. But great pitching. North Carolina A&T will start veteran pitchers. 3 of their 4 guys are going to be junior, senior type arms. So it's going to be a good test for our hitters. And right now, that's been the strong point for Coppin. We're currently the second leading offensive team in the entire conference. In fact, 3 of the top 5 hitters in the MEAC are all Coppin baseball players. Two are freshmen, traditional freshmen, and then 1 transfer. So offense is what we do really well right now.
That's right. Well, thanks for the folks at South Carolina, University had that on YouTube. I guess they played each other a couple weeks ago or a month ago, and it looks pretty good. I like their uniforms, dark. I couldn't tell it was
everyone gray.
South Carolina or yeah. So, well, Coach Reed, thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad you're safe, and I'm glad I'm sorry you guys didn't play today. I'm looking at MLB Network, and some places snow today. I don't know where that place is. It looks like
we're gonna get cold
like Kansas City.
Tonight, it's gonna be pretty cold here tonight. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll stay warm and stay warm, and we'll talk to you hopefully before the MEAC tournament. Okay.
Always my pleasure, Chris. You stay safe.
All right. Take it easy.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye. That's the head university. And Reed, let's bring in the birthday girl today. Nikki Murphy, our good friend, my former classmate at Bel Air High School. So, how are you this morning, Nikki? Happy birthday! Hold on a second. I got something for you. I got up real early and I made sure today you told me it's a birthday thing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Yeah, I know you told me it was your birthday today.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Yeah. So no season this year. Just talk about what happened. Did everybody in the Region 20 give up because they know you guys are great and they don't want to play you?
Something like that, Chris. I don't know. We went into our region tournament or our region meeting, and there was only 2 teams, myself and Anne Arundel, that had enough players to field. And so, I believe it was the NCAA had said something about they were going to waive eligibility. I don't know if you heard about that. And then they decided not to. And so then the NJCAA did the same. And so we decided as a region that we didn't want to waste anybody's eligibility on just playing one other team. Like that would be, although some of my girls would have done it just to play the same team twice, because they hate a practice season that we're doing right now. But so yeah, we decided as a region we were going to just call it. And so, I mean, I don't know what all the other teams are doing in the region, but for my team specifically, we were allowed to practice. And so we practice a couple times a week, and it's pretty light. And I reached out to the girls and I got their the goals, like what they really want to get out of the practice season. And so it's a lot of honing in on specifics for each individual. So a lot of girls want to work on shooting. So we set up a lot of like dialed back shooting, working on technique, and, just trying to get them to buy in. If they feel like they're getting better, then they'll come back to practice. So it's kind of a wild ride, but yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, when I emailed you and it's like, hey, and I was looking at your schedule, I was like, there's nothing there. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and Hartford is Hartford. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Hartford, what's going on with Hartford up there?
Tricky. So Hartford Community College has its own guidelines for COVID. So it's separate from, it incorporates what the state is looking to do, what the governor is trying to do, what the county is trying to do, but they make up their own policies. And so what's kind of hit us hard lately is that they won't let us practice if the county percentage rate is 8% or above. And so we haven't been able to practice for the past 2 weeks, maybe 3, because of the percentage in the county's been above 8%. Now it just dipped down below that yesterday. And I actually, what's today? Wednesday. So Monday, I didn't look at it yesterday, but it needs to be like a trend that it's down. So I'm hoping that by next week we can go in, but we literally only have 2 more weeks of practice. So it's hard.
Yeah. So next year, I guess you guys are going to do a fall ball season and then another season, or how's it going to work out?
Plan. Yeah, that's the plan, is to have fall ball. And actually we did have fall ball this past fall. And, that's why my team was super pumped to get a season in. That was our first time out on the field previously, since being pulled in March for COVID last year. So we got out for fall ball and we had good numbers. We were looking really good. And then none of the other teams fielded in the region, so aside from Anne Arundel. So I'm hoping that the teams kind of can recalibrate and get back together. But we do plan on practicing in the fall, and we do like two days a week, really light. But just to get the girls to know each other, we feel like when you get to know each other and you like understand your teammates, you buy in a little more. We have a saying called trust the process, and that's part of the process, is like getting to know each other. That's what makes a team like the heart and soul of the team, so hopefully that stays on track and that we can play again in the spring.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I think everybody's using the 76ers motto, trust the process. I'm like, okay, that's like what, 5 years old now, but everybody,
listen,
I tell everybody trust the process.
You got to trust that process. Yeah. And there's so many layers within it, and it's just a really, like it transcends, generations. There's just so much to be said about it. Sorry, my kids are, I came outside to get away from my kids, and my kids just came outside. So sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. We're the family up there with our show.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Say hello.
Celia, you want to pop over here and say hi? Okay, my daughter's going to come over.
Okay.
Here, you want to put this on? Come over here, please, because come over here. You say hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. I went to school with your mom in high school, so we've been friends for a very long time. So yeah. So what's your name?
Celia.
Celia.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Celia. Okay. Do you play sports like your mom? Are you going to be like a big lacrosse fan, or are you going to play softball?
Lacrosse. I play lacrosse. Today I have a game.
That's cool. Good luck today.
Yeah.
Hopefully the weather holds up, and then you're going to celebrate your mom's birthday.
Yeah.
Are you going to cook her a meal? Or mom's going to call takeout, and you're going to put it together, right?
Yeah, that sounds good. Celia plays on a rec team, and I coach. So I've been getting my coaching out on the rec program that my daughter plays for, and their team's undefeated. They are 7-0 right now. So I've like taken my pride in that, and those are the little wins that I have to take away. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Hartford Community College. Jack winds me here, and he said maybe she should be playing softball.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack. From up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Jack.
He's in the bullpen.
Is he? So Jack and I have become good. Yeah.
I'll bring him.
Yeah, for sure. Hey.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing well, but I was kind of hoping your daughter might play softball.
Oh yeah, man. We'll see, but she's looking pretty good on that lacrosse field.
They are.
Yeah.
Your girls are doing real well.
Yeah, so Chris,
Yeah.
I don't know if Jack told you. I don't
Go
know if
ahead.
Jack told you, Chris, but
did Jack know?
he recruited 3 of my girls. Since we don't have a season, we're just practicing. We kind of threw it out to the team to say, hey, if anyone's interested in playing softball, the team would love to have you. And so 3 of my girls are playing for Jack. And I went to the game on Saturday, and all 3 of them are in the outfield, center field, left field, right field. So it was really cool to see.
That's awesome. Well, it's great that you
Yeah, it
guys
was
are working together as a team up there. I know it's hard with with the
Yeah.
pandemic, and you have things that you can't do, but it's great that there's coaches reaching out to other coaches like, hey, if the girls want to play softball, I'm here. I need help. And
Right.
maybe there's some softball players may want to play lacrosse next year. A little
That's right.
trade right there, right? Right, John?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll bring Jack in later. Yeah, Jack will be on later around. I think I got you. What time I got you on? I got you at 11:15. We'll talk more, Jack, about your program and all that stuff. And let me let Nikki go because it's her birthday, and I know she has a lot of things to do today. I'll bring you back in a little bit later.
Okay.
All right, Jack. Hey,
All right.
thanks, Chris, so much. It was great checking in with you, and I'll talk to you soon.
No problem. Yeah. Happy birthday to everyone, and happy birthday, and enjoy yourself.
Thank you, and thanks for that little song. That was awesome. Appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye.
It was early in
All
the
right,
morning. I'm like,
bye-bye.
I got to do something.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Does a fantastic job with the program up there. Let's bring in the head coach, the manager of Revolution. Mark Mason will be joining us right now here on the program. Hi, Mark.
Hey,
How's
Chris,
everything
how are
going?
you?
Thank you so much for coming on this morning. First of all, doing great. First of all, how was the showcase last week? You were down in Florida, and what did you find down there?
Well, actually, last weekend we had a 3-day showcase at our ballpark in York, and that was actually put on by the Empire League. So I was actually able to sign the right-handed pitcher out of there named Eduardo Rivera, who had 3 years in the Yankee system. And a couple of weeks before that, we were in Florida for that camp, and were able to sign a right-handed pitcher out of there as well.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Well, last year you guys, nobody had the season last year. This time last year, everybody was like trying to gear up for one, and pandemic came in and wiped everything else. Well, what did you do during last year to keep yourself busy? Because I know you were probably jumping at the bit, wondering if you were playing in the spring, summer, or any games, last year.
Yeah, last year was an interesting year. We initially, the league put the season on hold somewhere near the end of March. It was before the players even reported the spring training. And we just kind of waited and waited and waited. And the final decision was actually made, I believe, around the middle of July that we would not have a season at all. The thought was that if things would get better, we could at least have maybe 60 game season, start the end of July, beginning of August. But the pandemic, it was just too much, and there were too many states that had different, they had different restrictions, and trying to get everybody on board, it was, I guess, just easier to shut it down. So that's what happened.
Yeah, it's really tough.
As far as as far as me, I'm a full-time employee with the Revolution. So in the off season, we did a lot of Zoom calls. We did a lot of things at the ballpark. We have great sponsors and advertisers that once they had paid the money at the beginning of the year, they permitted us to do some things at the ballpark, to make good our services for them. So that was pretty much a lot of the things that happened, at the ballpark. We did have 3 games for high school players because their games were canceled. We had a senior night. It was 2 nights of high school baseball and 1 night of high school softball for those seniors to at least come and get some recognition. We were only permitted 250 people in the ballpark at that time, so it was mostly family for all the kids and a few extended family. But the 250 included the teams and the umpires and the coaches, so it was still a nice turnout for 3 days, and at least the kids were able to get some recognition.
Yeah, you guys have a very nice ballpark. It reminds me, you guys try to, when you built this thing with Brooks Robinson years ago, you tried to put like Fenway Park with a short porch of Yankee Stadium, pretty much. It looks pretty, and that's why I look at it. Like down the left field line, you got to get over that scoreboard, and then down on the other part of the field, it's like you just pop one up and it goes down the line, and it's gone.
Yeah, our ballpark is definitely hitter friendly. The left field wall, the arch nemesis, as we call it, basically because Arch Street is the road that runs behind the left field fence, and then nemesis just because it's the highest wall in professional baseball. So actually 6 inches higher than the Green Monster in Fenway. So we, there's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of singles. There's a lot of singles off of that wall. So, but yeah, I mean, we have a very friendly hitter ballpark, and like you said, there are a lot of home runs and extra base hits there.
It seems like every ballpark in the Atlantic League, they always try to, I want to say Southern Maryland has a same, not similar to you, but they have a, like a scoreboard in left field that's a little higher up, for people to sit up there and watch the game. I think Lancaster has the same thing as well, right? They have a scoreboard, a little high, just like you guys. I guess everybody likes the scoreboard thing there in the Atlantic League, because normally you don't see that a lot.
No, every ballpark has their little quirk. I mean, Sugarland was kind of short to left field when they were in the league, and Lancaster short to right field. Our ballpark, the ball fly out everywhere. Southern Maryland is really short to left field as well, but a lot of those ballparks have a deeper parts of the park, usually, right field, left field, depending what park you're in. So when you're a pitcher in those ballparks, you try to pitch to the ballpark, basically. You don't want to get beat on the pool side too much. And, going into the season, the certain teams are going to be stacked with left-handed hitters or right-handed hitters just because they build their team to their ballpark. So, I've been 13 years in this league just in York. And prior to that, I was in Atlantic City when the league started. So, you have a pretty good feel for your competition before you get to the ballpark.
Yeah. I was reading your bio yesterday. I was trying to understand you a little bit more, get to know you. You you were a player in the Pirates organization. You made it all the way up to weight. What happened? Did you have an arm issue? Did you have bone chips? Because I know Matt Tyler, the coach here at Towson, he was drafted by the Orioles in 1980, got to 1983 and called it quits because of bone chips in his arm. What happened to you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish that would have happened to me, that I could say that I had actually gave up my career because of an injury, but I actually gave up my career because, I had a family tragedy that I actually left, playing the game for. Yeah. So, my brother had gotten killed in a car accident, and, by the time that, back then, it was a lot different, and I was the oldest child. So, when I went back, I kind of quit playing for that reason. And then several years later, a friend of mine he became the director of baseball operations for the Pirates. And he actually asked me what kind of shape I was in to see if I wanted to come back and play. And at the time I was working for Westinghouse as a national operations manager. I had a family, and I said, you know what? I went to the local college, Washington and Jefferson College. I talked to the athletic director there, John Luckhart. John let me work out with the team as just a chance to try to get myself in some kind of shape. So I went back into Three River Stadium, and which was only 20 minutes from my house. And I threw a bullpen there. I mean, of course I didn't have what I used to have, but that was what actually got me into coaching, which is really strange, because if I would have never left Westinghouse, I would have had 30 years in like the 2015, 16. So so ever since then I got into coaching. I coached at W&J, I coached at Waynesburg College, I coached professional baseball. There were years where I would coach college baseball and then go right into pro baseball in the summer. So basically I gave up a career with Westinghouse. My dad owned his own business at the time, so I was able to do some off-season work for him. But I opened my own baseball school, and pretty much it's been baseball for the past 35 years.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming on this morning. I know you're a busy guy. I hope to make a trip up there this year to watch you guys play. Hopefully, with the pandemic and all the rules in Pennsylvania, I hope the governor up there. My dad calls the governor up there in Pennsylvania kind of weirdo, with all the different things he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Well, Chris, right now we're at 50% capacity, so I anticipate 75% by Memorial Day, which is when we open. So it would be great to see you. You come to the ballpark, make sure you stop by and say hi for sure.
Oh, we will.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We'll have you on later in the year, okay?
Okay, sounds great, Chris. Thank you.
All right. I see you.
Take care.
See ya. Revolution. We're going to take a little break here for a minute. We're going to wait for Coach Matt Tyler to join us. Let's take a break here, and we'll be in shortly. Put up the this is square. Here's the schedule. We'll be right back because I have to make a situation. No, I don't do that. Wrong one. All right. I'm taking a break for 5 minutes. Okay, hold on. All right, be back. Love you too. Hold on. All right, folks. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry, I had to make a little check there. 10:56 in the morning. Was bringing Coach Matt Tyler right now on the bus heading down to Arlington. Let me bring up get the schedule off here. Here it is. Let's bring in Coach Matt here, who is on the road. Are you driving, sir?
I got to drive a van, baby. That's how we go. Mid-major,
Yeah.
brother.
Are you?
So you got to be. Not only do you have to
were going in the back seat sleeping.
Yeah. No, man.
Yeah.
I've got a player holding the phone. We're getting it done, man. We team up.
Nice. That's awesome. Hey, that's what you do for college baseball. You drive the bus. Do you feed them too? Do you give them like meal money or something or what?
We schedule every meal, man. We have caterers everywhere we go that deliver meals to us. It's in a box, individual meals, man. We're COVID proof, brother. COVID proof.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's do a weather update. You guys are heading down there. I guess the weather is good and ready to go for 3:00 this afternoon, right, against George Washington, right?
That's what Coach Ritchie says. There might be an intermittent shower between now and then, but we try to play earlier. We're gonna play through this. So we love going down there. It's a good park. It's a good team. Tests us and gets us ready for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. You had a busy weekend last weekend. You had a lot of scouts there watching that guy from Fordham. I heard that on the radio this morning. Not this morning, the other day. What was it like having a lot of scouts there watching that guy? How great is he? Is he going to be one of those top picks like the guy from Vanderbilt, Al Leiter's kid?
I'll tell you what, the kid's pretty good. We hadn't had that many people in the stands in regard to scout population since George Kirby threw for Elon, and there was probably 20, 25 scouts in there, and there were at least that many on Saturday to see Mokulsic pitch. He's all that and then some. He sat 95, 96, and he didn't. If we hadn't gotten him to a high pitch count, he probably would have continued on. But our hitters did a pretty good job of grinding out at bats, and he was in the 90s when he came out. So it was a laborious day for him on Saturday for sure.
Jeez. So like I was listening to Jason Lockenforward. Yeah, that's who he wanted to see the game on Saturday or something like that. He said it was like 30 people, 30 media members, all scouts. And then when that player was done, they all hit their cars and had to hit the road. I'm like, really? It's like, how do you stay and watch Towson? You got some good players at Towson. Come on, give them an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think you're right on that. But a lot of those guys were high-level scouts. So those, cross-checkers and things like that, they're flying in, they're watching that kid pitch, and then they're flying out. They're going somewhere to see a night game where another pitcher or hitter of importance is playing. And, I talked with one of the scouts out of Charlotte that flew in. I said, well, stick around. He goes, I can't, man. I'm flying to Louisville as soon as this is done. And I'm like, holy cow. So, yeah, they've got a busy life, and it's a busy spring because the college season is so condensed. You got to get it while you can. And then all of a sudden it ends, and they don't draft until the middle of July. So they're making decisions right now.
That's true. Let's talk about your decision today about pitching. Last time I had you on the program, this guy pitched against St. Joe's and didn't have a good outing. So what does Nick got to do to pitch a little bit better on a Wednesday afternoon?
Well, he's going to have a limited pitch count today because he will throw the second game on Friday as well. We've changed our weekend schedule from a 1-2-1 to a doubleheader on Friday and a doubleheader on Saturday. So we're going to treat today for Nick as a kind of as a bullpen day. So he'll have a real short leash. Get me 1 inning, get me 2 innings. That's it. Get out of there. And then we'll turn it over to staff, and hopefully we'll have the same kind of performance here that we had against Georgetown last week.
Yeah, that's true. I hope the offense is good today because you had Billy Goodrick last week, 2 for 4 and 2 winning hits against Fordham. what is it like having him in the lineup? And is he one of those people that you didn't think at this time going to be a spark plug for the offense?
Well, actually, we were hoping that he would be exactly what he is. He's been a guiding force. He's a very mature baseball player. He brings just a calmness to the field, but yet a great deal of enthusiasm. And you could not have written a better script on Saturday for somebody like that. I mean, playing his old team, he provides the walk-off in the first game in the ninth inning with a single to right. And I mean, I'm sitting there as a coach going, do I suicide squeeze him right now? And I'm sitting there going, don't overcoach, you dummy. Just let the kid hit. And bam, he delivers. And then score tied 3-3 in the bottom of the seventh, and he delivers a smash. I mean, a no doubt double to left field that scores a run from second base, and we'd go on to win that game 5-3. But it was the 4-3 lead that he gave us, and that little boost right there put us in I think we're good. We're going to win this one too. So, and it really demoralized Fordham. God love them. It's not as if they had a bad day. They were, they lose game one with their probably Golden Spikes Award winner on the mound, and then they lose game two, and then their bus breaks down. They don't get out of town till probably 9:30 that night. So it was a rough Saturday for those poor guys. So yeah, it is college baseball at its best, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to you on the phone yesterday. My brother couldn't make it this morning because he had situations that he had to go to the doctors today.
Sure.
But you and I had a nice conversation about your college career. I explained to the folks that you were picked up by Miami in 1977, right? And then you played in this junior varsity thing that Miami had, and then you did so well, you were called up to the big leagues, the big time, in 78, 79.
Yeah, what happened was it was the brainchild of Coach Bertman to expand baseball at the University of Miami and have what he called a freshman team. So what he thought he would do would be the fall of 76 when I arrived was to have, an open tryout for let's call it a B team, if you would. And it was going to allow the non-starters at the University of Miami to group together with a selected few and play junior colleges to try and develop those guys at a much faster rate. So there were 250 people on the field the day that tryouts started, and I got lucky, and I made that freshman team. There were 11 of us that got to play every junior college in Miami back in those days, Dade North, South, and Dade Downtown. And I mean, there were phenomenal talents at every one of those junior colleges. I mean, Dade North was ran by Demi Maneri, father to Paul Maneri, who's now the head coach at LSU. Charlie Green was the master at Dade South. I don't know how many people he put in the big leagues, but that team, basically got sifted through, and I just stayed with the varsity as a sophomore. They didn't do it anymore because they took their one shot, and they felt like, well, you know what, it served its purpose. We got a couple guys out of that, but it was a headache for those guys to try and do all of that. So I stuck with the team as a sophomore. My father had a heart attack in the fall of my junior semester, so I stayed at home and worked. I came back as a junior, didn't really get a shot until midway through the season. Got my shot again, got lucky, went 4 for 4 that night, and didn't come out of the lineup for the rest of my career at the University of Miami. And that led to a 9th round draft pick by the Baltimore Orioles. So, I couldn't script that any better either. So it was, thank God that Coach Bertman had that foresight or had a vision, and we were all able to enjoy it. So I owe him my college and professional and coaching career. Both of those guys put me in the right place at the right time.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you were a power hitter there at Miami, did you have the Reggie Jackson swing? I was watching some Reggie Jackson old clips last night, and when he hit the tape measure shot, he just threw the bat down and did a little shuffle and all that stuff. What was your home run? Did you just put your head down, ran around the bases, or or did you watch it at some go wow, I hit that one far? That was pretty good.
I'll tell you the truth. All right. And give me a second, because I got to build up to this. But
Okay.
I dislocated my shoulder with my swing as a freshman. So I put that thing back together. And yeah, you betcha. When I hit home runs, I enjoyed them until I got to Charlotte in AA for the Orioles. And it was an old park, and all of the light standards were connected with a guide wire. So if one bent, the other one kind of swayed to kind of offset the bend, right? Or, I mean, they were really, really old.
Right.
So I want you to visualize about a 1/2 inch, piece of wire going from light standard to light standard. So one going from the left field all the way behind the outfield fence. So it actually crossed the field, and it was in play if it was hit in play. So I hit one. Yeah, I hit one, the height of the light tower, and it hit that cord, and it fell down on the warning track, and I'm running around second base, and I'm looking in the third base coaching box at Mark Wiley, and he's got his hands up going, stay there, stay there, stay there. So I just camped out at second base, and I remember to this day that the shortstop for the Columbus Astros was Mike Grace, I mean. Okay. And he had caught a relay throw from the left fielder, and he was running toward me going, it hit the wire, you're only getting a double. And I'm like, get out of town. I said, you got to be kidding me. What wire? And they're pointing up there, and I'm like, no way. So from that day forward, I sprinted my home runs.
Wow. Yeah, I was playing rec ball back in I was 18 years old. I was in one of these rec leagues, and I had this 1 week. I was 7 for 7. I felt like I was like Frank Thomas or whatever it was, and I hit one of a John. Have you been to John Carroll High School in Bel Air?
Not yet. No.
Okay. They have a baseball field right outside the high school, and they had these tennis courts. Well, I was playing a game that night, and I hit 2 of them a blast to the tennis courts, and. Yeah, I got a triple out of it because I was watching it because I never hit that far before. My father goes, if you were playing at Shea Stadium, that would have gone out of Shea Stadium, and that's how he crushed it. The funny thing is, my dad was the first base coach, and the kid almost caught the ball at the tennis court.
Oh my
on a fly.
There you go.
And my dad sitting there, the base coach told the player, get the beat back to first base, and then the guy didn't catch it. And he goes, keep going.
Oh yeah.
But that was like my only great week of because I graduated from high school that week. I went 7 for 7. I felt like I was a Frank Thomas, and then I think the word got around that I was hitting power for power, and they walked me the next game. Potentially walked me. I was like, geez, I guess this is what Frank Thomas has to go through. You got to walk. And then just had I had a great time this whole week, and my dad was like, and then I had to go on a European trip with some forest people, and my dad goes, why did you have to leave? I was like, well, at the time I didn't think I was going to be Frank Thomas, I was like Rafael Belliard, I was striking out all the time, so but that was my memory of playing rec ball, and ever since then I'm like, I should be playing again, but I'm 40 now. I want to hit one out of your ballpark when the COVID's done. Let's see if I can hit one out.
Offers there, come on out. I'll throw you some BP, and we'll take a shot. We had pitchers hitting BP yesterday, and I'll tell you what, Jeff Siles hit a couple out, Matt Waters hit a couple out, Pete Marcinek looked pretty good. All of them, man. It was fun to watch them take some swings.
That's awesome. Let's talk about today's game against George Washington before I let you go.
Sure.
You guys, this game was scheduled for March 24th, got postponed because of rain or whatever at that time. What did you see in George Washington for this single game today against a team that you play almost every year?
Yeah, we play those guys every year, home and away, and we're coming into a little bit of a lion's den. I mean, they're an evenly balanced team. They're just Greg Ritchie's such a great hitting coach. They're hitting over 300. They're 12-9. They've got their pitching moving in the right direction, and they play good defense. I mean, they're fielding 970, so they play to their home field advantage, which is turf, and they're quick, very well coached. They're going to run. They're going to force issue on offense, and we're going to have to bring a solid game. I think we match up with them pretty well, but this will be a dogfight for sure from start to finish.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully you guys have a great game down there. Hope the weather's good and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, they're 3-1 in their conference, or I can't really remember. It might be 5-1. I know they're sitting on top, so they're looking pretty good, and 12-9 overall. So they're in good position, and they got a couple guys hitting high threes. One guy's over 400. So this late in the season, hitting 400, you're doing something right. So we'll see what they throw at us, and we just want to be competitive and stay in it as long as we can, and then see who breaks at the end. And so far, we've been able, I think we're battle tested, and that's one of the benefits of playing the schedule that we have, so that we don't get too flustered, we don't get too high, we don't get too low, and at the end of the game, you get an errant throw, a missed pickoff, you don't make the double play when you should have, and the next thing you know, Towson scores 2 runs on you and we win. So that might be exactly how this game goes today.
Well, Coach Matt, thank you so much for coming on. Drive carefully, please. I don't want to get you a speeding ticket if you're going over, that's not a good thing. But be careful driving. And I know you guys are off to Hofstra this weekend, so that's another long trip to Hempstead, New York. I'm from Long Island, so I know one advice to tell you, leave early. Because if you want to get on that Belt Parkway early, you'll be fine. If you get there around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, you're screwed. Just want to let you know.
I hear you. I appreciate that advice. We'll do what we can. And, hey, just to set your mind at ease, we take 2 buses up there. I'm not driving. So be good. Thanks for having me.
That's great. Well, talk to you soon. I'll talk to you before the CAA baseball tournament, or before the end of the season.
Sounds good, Chris. Thanks a lot. Be good.
All right. Drive carefully.
Bye-bye. Yep. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Shut it.
That's Coach Matt Towson baseball on the road to W today. So let's bring in Jack here, who was on earlier. If you just missed, he stopped in to say hello to Nikki and wish her a happy birthday. So Jack Wismeyer, the softball coach there at Community College. Jack, thanks for joining us. You're on mute, so hit the mute button. Is he on mute? I think is he sleeping? I don't know. There we go. Hi, Jack. How you doing? Thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoy the program. What do you think about the program so far?
Well, I've enjoyed it. I really have. And thanks for the invite. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you guys, tough season so far. You guys haven't won a game yet. I saw your schedule 0-13, but it seems like you guys are competitive. But it's really hard when you have, like you said, you have some lacrosse players coming in, and and you're trying to balance it out and all that stuff. What do you guys have to do this weekend? You have to go up to Scranton to play a team that you haven't played before.
Lackawanna. And yes, no, we have not played them yet. But there are times where you don't win all the games. And in our case, we haven't won any yet. But this is just a absolutely wonderful team, a bunch of girls to coach. And as a result, we've concentrated on a lot of the things that are off the field. For example, we just took my truckload full of dog and cat food that we raised for the Hartford Humane Society. And you have no idea, as often as we wind up on the short end of the stick at the end of the game, these girls are in the game all the way to the end, and they're just a great group of girls to coach. But like you said,
I found a video on YouTube.
Yeah, that's us. I borrowed 3 from the lacrosse team. I inherited 2 girls from last year's team, and 5 of my girls have had very limited experience with the game, and lost my number 1 pitcher to a thumb injury. So it's been a difficult year, but I'm blessed with a great coach, assistant coach. I am blessed with the staff that at Hartford Community College, and Nikki has helped to mentor me in my first year here at Hartford Community College. So it's been a great experience, and we're fortunate enough that I have signed 8 girls for next year that are extremely talented, and we have a very bright future. And believe it or not, it's been a great ride with this year's team, on and off the field.
That's cool. And you get you guys get the sense of being a family, and get to know each other on these long road trips. Because I know going up to Scranton, Pennsylvania on a Saturday, you probably have to leave so early in the morning, and some girls are not awake early in the morning. Some want to sleep in the back of the bus, and you guys just work together as a team and your family, and you make sure everybody's healthy, and it's good when you see they all come together. Yes, you haven't won a game yet, but you feel like you won a game because you guys are working together as a team.
Well, we are winners, and we help the Hartford Humane Society in a way that really felt good. And most of my girls come out and give me 110% every day. When the score is 10-0, they're still in it. They're still digging. They're still scratching. One of Nikki's lacrosse players actually leads the team in batting average and on-base percentage. And she is 2 steals away from getting into the Hartford Community College record book for stolen bases. Now, this is a girl that came to us with limited knowledge of the game, but learned that you could leave first base and steal second base, and that was a lot of fun. And so she's made a career stealing bases, and there isn't a ball hit to center field that I can't expect that she's going to run it down in one way, shape, or form. And I have a second baseman who anything that's hit to the right side, I can count on her getting to it. But we just have those 1 or 2 bad innings a game, and we get along great. They're always up. They're always positive, and it's just an absolute fun time coaching these girls. A friend of mine who's also coached at the high school level told me that one of his best seasons was, in fact, the season where the girls had the least amount of talent and they won the least number of games. And that is exactly what I'm experiencing here with these wonderful, wonderful players, good athletes, excellent academics, and we're doing the best. And we're looking forward to next year. And we're looking forward to the game this weekend at Lackawanna, and then we take on Mercer for the final game of our season. But it's been a good ride, and like I said, I'm very blessed to have the support staff that I do, and we'll see what happens down the road.
That's cool. That's awesome. Is your this young lady? Is she from Bel Air High School, and she's a freshman, right?
Paige, I'm not sure if she's from, Paige Blaker is who it is. She's very gifted with speed, good hand-eye coordination, picked up the bat, and within a week or 2 was making good contact. And like I say, she leads the team in batting average. So an athlete is an athlete. And when there's commitment, there will always be a coachable athlete there that is willing to learn. And she has proven that you have hand-eye coordination. You can put the ball in play, and that's what she's done. Loves to steal those bases, though.
Hey, she wants to be like Ricky Henderson. You never know. You probably have a new Ricky Henderson record by the end of the season. Next year, she'll be like stealing 70 bases, and be like, wow. Because in softball, it's like in rec ball, you can't leave the base until the pitch was thrown, right?
That's correct.
Okay, because in rec ball,
it's a little difficult. But if you have speed and you pay attention to the mechanics of leaving the base as she has, she just loves to get on, steal bases. She likes to steal second. She'll steal third. And if you give her an opportunity, she'd try to steal home on you. But she's just a gifted girl, and a pleasure to have her. I also have one girl who is currently being looked at by a 4-year college. And so while we don't have a whole lot of wins to show for it, we do have a lot of accomplishments and a great bunch of athletes.
That's great. Yeah, because I know when I was playing baseball, I don't think I was thrown out because I was too fat, and they didn't want to throw out a fat guy. So I stole the base pretty good. And I did have one time I stole second and third. We were down 11-0, and this is rec ball. I stole second and third, came home on an infield single, and my coach had the goals. He goes to me, he goes, "Did you see the steal sign? Did I tell you to steal second base?" I look at him. I'm like, "We're down 11-0 in the second inning. Okay, I want to get some runs on the board. Okay, I don't want to sit here being shut out because we want to play. You want to tell everybody how to steal second base and third base." He didn't like me from day one because I used to play the outfield and I know how to play the outfield. And he came out and goes, and I looked at him, "Before you say something, I know how to catch the ball. I know where to throw the ball to the cutoff guy because I've been playing baseball my whole life. And if I don't know how to throw to a cutoff guy, why am I playing in the outfield?" And he goes, "Okay." And he turns around and went back in the dugout. But I was not trying to be a hard guy. But like I've been playing baseball my whole life. I think I should know throw to the cutoff guy. It's just what you do in the outfield. Yeah. So anyway, that's my little soapbox for the morning. But anyway, your first season there at Hartford Community College, it's been tough because of COVID-19 and you can't have. Is Hartford Community College letting parents come watch the game now, or because of the restrictions?
No, that's what makes it bad. We have a no spectator policy. We are fortunate that several of our games have been streamed, and we always have the ability to follow play-by-play from home. But it's a big support for the girls when family shows up and friends. And COVID has brought changes to our game that I would have never expected. I had a practice one day that was a team's practice online, everybody sitting at home because we weren't able to practice because of those standards that Nikki talked about when the COVID went too high. So you teach remotely, you still have practices when you can, and you try to do the best that you can. And when you have a group of girls like I do that absolutely want to play and want to do well, it doesn't matter when they're down. They are still in the game. They're still barking, and we don't give up even till the last out. We steal a base in the last inning almost all the time because the other team falls asleep and they give up. But when you're having fun and you're performing off the field as well, I call it a good season, and we've had a really good season.
That's good. Yeah, it's good that you guys are. I know you haven't won a game, and but it's good that you guys are having a great season together. And maybe this weekend you guys get lucky and you beat a team that you haven't played before, and maybe that bus ride home will be one hell of a party. Going home, stopping and getting food, and feel like you guys won the World Series. Like you probably won one. And for you being the first year coach, you'll be like, finally got win number one under my belt in college softball. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, we're optimistic, and like I say, I go into every game assuming we're going to win. So, and the girls go right along with me, and we'll give it our best right till the very end.
Exactly. Well, Jack, thanks so much for coming on, and thanks for coming on earlier when Nikki was on. And I'm glad you guys are working together. And hopefully this time next year everything's back to normal. Hopefully with all these vaccines and all this stuff, we can get back to some normalcy and get back to watching softball from not from a video on computers or doing virtual whatever, and get back to being as one big family watching games.
And I'll say this, Chris, if we get out of this COVID issue, I'll be more than happy to invite you out to let you do some batting practice against a 60-mile-an-hour fastball and see how you can handle that. And maybe we'll get you to throw the first ball out for one of our games. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, somehow my connection got a little connected there. Repeat what you just said because I was trying to figure out what you said, and I got to go ahead.
I'd like to invite you out for batting practice. We'll let you see how you do against a 60-mile-an-hour softball, and you'll have some fun. And it's not as easy as people think. And we'll get you to throw out the first pitch on one of our games next year.
Oh, that'll work. That'll be cool. Awesome. Yeah, my dad used to play fast pitch softball, and he told me, you better be ready for that. Because you got to, because it's coming in there quicker than a normal baseball, I know my father played a lot of softball over the years, and there's some stories he told me that he had a softball that came out lopsided after he hit it and he crushed it. So I'll probably have to ask him. And maybe I'll bring him up there and see if that 70-year-old guy get himself back in the batter's box and see if he doesn't pull anything. Maybe him and I will have a little home run derby. Maybe
Bring him up and bring some tissues because it might be a little difficult situation to hit that ball.
Yeah, my dad will probably be like, "You stink." Thanks, Dad. well, Jack, thank you so much for coming on, and good luck this weekend. Safe trips to Scranton, and I'll keep that up with you. Keep that in mind, and next year I'll get you on before the season starts, and we'll see what the schedules are with me, and I'll stop by because my parents live in Bel Air, so I'll stop up there and see what's going on.
Well, you're welcome anytime. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye. From Westmeyer from the Hartford Community College softball. We're doing some softball, baseball, cross here on the program. I'm Chris Heidel. Thanks for joining us this morning. And my broadcast partner, brother, had to take a sick leave, so he'll be not available today, but he'll be back hopefully next week or the week after. Tomorrow evening at 45, we're doing a special Uski. We're going to preview the football subdivision football playoffs. You got Townsend taking on Sacred Heart. You got Davidson taking on Utah State. Well, Utah State's playing. Everybody's playing. It's a 16 team. So let's bring in the softball for UMBC. Joining us live on the video, Chris Kohlmeyer. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us. Good morning, and how's everything going there at the college?
Hey, good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me on. I'm very excited to join you today. Things are, going pretty well. We're, in full swing of the season. We're halfway through our conference season right now, doing pretty well. And, we've only had some minor COVID issues here and there. So knock on wood right here, which I have right here in front of me in my dugout, that we will continue to be able to avoid those the rest of the year and finish it out strong.
Yeah, let's talk about this COVID stuff. What do you guys have to do before a weekend game? Would you test like Wednesday, Thursday, and then, or how does that work out?
So we have to test, of course, twice a week, like you said, but we test Monday, Wednesday. Conference has a mandate. We have to, do several, rounds of testing and, X amount of time before we play on the weekend or play any opponent, whether it's midweek or not. So we go through that, and normally we get the results in within a day, but usually the next morning. So we know that we are good to go to continue to practice, or we have to pull somebody out to make sure we isolate them, and then he can start doing contact tracing and all that stuff. So thankfully, we only had one little minor hiccup a few weeks back, and everybody's back to full health and getting over those issues, and rocking and rolling.
That's awesome. You guys had your big weekend last weekend, beating Albany, first series road win against that club. How exciting is that to have that carryover this weekend when you got to go back on the road again? You sound like you have to play that Willie Nelson tune on the road again. Going up to Laurel, Massachusetts. That must be a hike, from here to Laurel, Massachusetts. What do you guys have to leave early in the morning to get up there, or how do you guys have to do?
Yeah, we have to leave. Normally, we try to leave in the early afternoon so the girls can stay in class. But for this trip to go up to Lowell, we are going to have to leave probably about 8 or 9 a.m. to be able to get up there in time, in a good hour in the evening, so we can get in the hotel, get some dinner, and have plenty of time to rest before we have to go up and play a really tough UMass Lowell team. So it's quite a long trip, and the hardest part's getting around New York City. That's usually what ends up taking the longest part of it. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. UMass Lowell's a great team, and coming off this past weekend playing Albany, and I didn't even know this until after our games got done. Our awesome SID, Zach Seidel, texted me and alerted me to it. It was our first, road, series win against Albany in the history of the program since we moved to the America East, which was very exciting. Albany's been one of the dominant programs in this conference forever. And I don't even know really how many, more championships they've had over other teams. I'm sure if I remember right, seeing that they've won more than the majority of the teams here. So, it was really exciting. It was a dogfight especially on Sunday. It felt like we were, under pressure every single pitch on both sides in a good way. And it was a heck of a lot of fun. It was a lot of energy all 3 games. And, to come out there with a series win anytime in this conference, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter who the opponent is a huge deal when you go on the road. So, we're looking forward to taking that momentum to Lowell and taking another series this weekend.
Yeah. I was doing some getting to know your team. Mason Wilson, she's batting .372 for you guys. I know she's not Ken Griffey Jr. with 4 home runs and 13 RBIs, but what does she bring to the team to get that? Is she that spark plug that you guys need to get your offense rolling?
Yeah, well, Madison is a transfer from Appalachian State, and she went there her freshman year, and then last year she actually took a year off, and she has come, transferred here and everything, and she's just really starting now to really get back in the swing of things and getting her confidence back and really getting in a groove. So she's been a great addition to the program, from both an energy standpoint and just from a power standpoint. And we're excited to have her. And she's really, I think she hasn't come close to being able to, hit for her potential just yet. Because those 4 home runs have been awesome, but there's been several that she had just missed, or she just wasn't as confident in her at bats, maybe not be as aggressive in her at bats. So looking forward to her continuing to gain more confidence and getting that group, and then finishing strong the rest of the season. And I apologize. They came up to drag my field as we got on this interview. So you might see the drag in the background. You might hear the drag go behind me in the background. Thankfully, our awesome people up here at UMBC asked if I needed help today. And I said, yeah, I'm on an interview. So can you drag for me? And they're like, yeah, I'll take care of it. I didn't think they're going to be up here this quick. So I apologize for the noise.
Awesome. Hey, it's a family affair on my program. I had Nikki Murphy, the head coach at Hartford Community College. She brought her daughter on the program, and it's fantastic. Like, it's a family affair. I don't
Absolutely.
mind. Anybody wants to put kids on, or you want to show how to fix a part, come on, I don't care.
Absolutely.
We have my broadcast partner, my friend who does help me out, Euan. We talk about food most of the time because he wants to go to these places. And you're from LSU, and he wants to go down the bayou. He's from New Orleans.
Okay.
So he's like, I want to go back there and get some crawfish, and I was like, okay, but
and I miss it. Yeah, I miss that so much. Like this right now, where it's like right in the middle of crawfish season, and my timeline on Facebook. That's where most of my friends are. I don't have them on Twitter or Instagram. Mostly, it's mostly on Facebook. It seems like at least once or twice a week, I'm seeing massive piles of crawfish being eaten all the time, and it makes me very jealous. I miss it a lot. It's a great delicacy from Louisiana that I think everybody should at least try once for sure, and also go to a night football game at Tiger Stadium down at LSU. You want one of the greatest experiences in college football. You want that? You need to go down to Death Valley with a big football game Saturday night in Death Valley. It's amazing. I miss that. There's a couple of things I do miss about being down there.
Yeah. Hey, no offense to Clemson, but I think that's the real Death Valley. Because Clemson
I agree. Yeah, that's the real Death Valley.
I feel like Clemson makes it. Yeah. It's like I think LSU on a summer, on a mid-September night when it's sticky and you guys play Florida under the lights and or Alabama or whatever, and it's all national TV. And I think you guys, it's great. And I've never been down there, but I would love to go to see an LSU game. I know Towson years ago, football played LSU down there, and they played them pretty well into the fourth quarter. So I guess that's when Les Miles was busy talking to somebody.
There's almost you mentioned that man's name right now. That's almost fighting words, dude. You might want. We don't talk about that. Unfortunately, just with a lot of stuff that's come out recently about the things going on down there and about Les Miles and everything, people don't like to mention his name very often, and just like how it all ended with him. So, those are kind of fighting words a little bit. It's very sad, and it's unfortunate, and I hope that it's an embarrassment as an alum, to be honest with you, and just not to go too deep into it, but it's an embarrassment as an alum that they did all that garbage down there, and I hope there's a lot of justice that comes out of this, and a lot of people, really, held accountable for all the wrong that they did to people down there.
Exactly. I'm a big Florida State fan. I know we're going to play each other in a couple of years, a home-and-home series. But But with Florida State, I had to deal with the Free Shoes University and and all that stuff. And my brother Will is a big Miami Hurricane fan, so you guys played them a couple years ago in the Kickoff Classic in Arlington, Texas, and he was so upset. he gets a little emotional to Miami games, but we don't have the grades. Okay, we don't have the grades to go to these schools. We just grew up watching these games because there's just the colors and how they was so dominant. You guys were dominant in the '90s, same as Florida State and Miami, and it's like now the good old boys, we're having a hard time getting back to normal.
Yeah,
and I know you guys won
sure.
the title a couple years ago, beating Clemson. So that was pretty good, knocking off what's his name, Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence. So
yeah, that was a very fun year for sure.
Were you down there at that time, or were you here?
No, I was here. I watched every game from afar or on my phone while I was out recruiting because it's always during prime recruiting time. So I'm usually out of the field and just have it on my phone and check it out in between pitches or in between innings and everything. So gotta keep your priorities straight. This program's my number one priority besides my family and all that. So so I still try to catch as many games on TV as I can. I'm hoping maybe this year I'll be able to get back down there for a game. I wanted to try to go out to California. They're playing UCLA in the Rose Bowl to open up the year. I was hoping to go back that way to go out there to do it, but the timing and actually the expense of it's going to be way too much for my salary to take care of. So around that time, so.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool with college football, and like now I was just telling you before you came on, the subdivisions doing their playoffs in the spring, and they've been having a hard time with COVID. Like the CAA, the CAA conference has been dropping, like flies. Like, all these teams are like, oh, we decided not to play anymore. It's like, then just don't play a whole season. Just wait for the fall when everybody's back to normal. And I know the SEC did a good job, and the ACC had 85% of their games, perfect. They played. They did it. I guess they're doing something right in the big Power Five.
Yeah, I agree. No, and I think, I think I'm trying to word this right. The Power Five's done a great job of a lot of things. I think in a lot of places, it's just different depending on your leadership that you have, whether it's from a conference standpoint or from a university standpoint. Like I know here, we've had, nowhere near the amount of issues that a lot of schools our size have had, and with just, with less resources. So it just goes to show the strength of our AD on down through the administrative staff and just the leadership here at UMBC and how what they did to ensure the safety of our student athletes and the coaches and everything. So, I mean, we've had probably the least amount of missed days of all the conference teams, probably, I think someone said not combined, but pretty close. So we've done really well. And unfortunately, I have several friends of mine who are also coaches at different schools at Division I that are dealing with some severe issues with it. And we've only thankfully had a 7-day period where we had to deal with it, so far, this season. So, it just kind of show whatever UMBC has been doing has worked. And, it's been a great model for a lot of other schools, to follow.
Yeah. Well, one last question to ask you. With the basketball team doing so well, last couple of years, they beat Virginia in that, in the first game, you're beating a 1 versus 16. Do you feel like it's been rubbed off on everybody else there at UMBC, like with you guys? And because I know when you came in, they never made it to a conference tournament, and then you gave them a trophy 6 months later. It's like, here you go, this is what it is. Do you feel like it's been rubbed off? The basketball team's been rubbed off on everybody in that school, and you guys want to be the best.
I think that definitely did help, and I think one of the biggest things it's done is just put us on the map more nationally. We're more recognizable, and I think everybody here. We had a lot of great coaches and a lot of programs are on the up and up right now. I was having a great conversation on the way home from Albany with one of my seniors, and she's been here. She's taking her 5th year this year, her blanket COVID year, and she's almost in her college career. And we were just discussing just what UMBC was like before the Virginia win and like what athletics looked like, just in 2017 when she got here. And she's like, Coach, it's just night and day how much we're growing. And it really all did start with, for everybody, I guess, with, the UMBC, upset over Virginia, we had some, very successful times before that. I know like men's soccer in like 2014, I believe they went to the Final Four in soccer. The swimming and diving team's always been extremely successful. Track and field, cross country always been successful. And then different times, a lot of other programs in our, school has been very successful. But it just seems like since that Virginia win, we have been put on a more of a bigger map. And that's, from that right there, our, a lot of our programs and a lot of just our ability to recruit, whether it's nationally a little bit more recognizable name, people researching the university more has definitely taken off. So I really see, like, from just the time that my, fifth year seniors gotten here, and just the time that I've been here since the, August of 2018, just we are growing by leaps and bounds, and, and it's just exciting to keep, be a part of and continue to see grow and be a part of it.
Exactly. Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming. The weather's nice. I think the rain probably will stay down there. It's down here for one day, and then you guys will get all the games up there. I'll try to catch up with you before the start of the American East tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I would love to come on whenever I get the opportunity.
Yeah, we'll also get you on for LSU talk too. We'll get you on there as well.
Anytime. You want SEC talk, LSU talk? You got the guy right here.
All right, that works. All right, Chris. Thank you so much, sir.
All right,
have a good one.
Take care, man. Have a good one.
See ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
See ya. Yeah, I spelled Chris wrong there. That's nice. Anyway, Chris Heidel on. It's at the 11:42. We're waiting for Rob. Uski, who is a former major leaguer. Used to play for the Blue Jays, Phillies, Mariners. He played against the Orioles in 1997 in the ALDS against the Orioles and gunned down by Brady Anderson. But we'll talk to him about his career, what he's been up to. Folks, tomorrow our next program is tomorrow night at a special time, 6:45 for the preview of the subdivision football playoffs. We'll talk JMU taking on BMI tomorrow. We'll have Kurt Dudley, who is the fine broadcaster for the for James Madison Sports down there. He's a great broadcaster and a good friend of ours. Every time I go down to Harrisonburg, I get a chance to see him. Because we have a house down there as well. So that's tomorrow. Excuse me, tomorrow night at 6:40. Uski will be dropping by. And then we'll figure out for next week's show as well. So let's bring in, our good friend Rob Uski, who is the former major leaguer. I found him online. One of my friends down there. Rob, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Thanks for coming on. How's everything there? And where are you right now? You at home?
Yeah, I'm at home.
That's cool.
I'm in Florida.
Are you up in Canada? Go ahead.
Excuse me?
Okay. Yeah. So thanks for coming on today. I was looking at your career. You got drafted by the Blue Jays, and then you played for the Blue Jays for a while, and then you went off to Seattle and Philadelphia, and then you went to Montreal, and then came back. What was it like playing in the major leagues?
Well, obviously, it was a thrill actually getting an opportunity to play there. I played for a number of different teams, and I think that anytime you get an opportunity to meet some of your childhood icons and role models, it's kind of thrilling.
That's cool. Yeah, you played with the Blue Jays from '84 to 1987. You got signed in 1984. 1987 is when they started becoming very good because they won the AL East, and then by the 91. Were you there in 91 and 92 when they won the title?
I was there in 92. I was there in 91 as well. I was there 87 to 92. I was traded at the deadline for Mark Eichhorn. Myself and Greg Myers, we got traded to California. So I missed out on the actual World Series, but I was part of the 92 team, and then they ended up actually winning in 93 as well.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So, yeah, I was just reading that you got traded to Anaheim, or AKA California Angels at the time, and then you played in Texas. How hot was it down in Texas? Because I heard they had a new ballpark. They have a dome now because Yeah, but how hot was it to play at Arlington Stadium at the time?
You know what? I think that during the course of the year, it's hot everywhere. Whether you're in Chicago, New York, Baltimore, everywhere at some point in time, it's smoking hot in the summertime. Philadelphia, especially on the turf in some of the places that we did play. So depending on some of those years, I remember that there was a heat wave. So it was smoking at times, no doubt.
Yeah. I was going online. I was looking for videos of you playing Major League Baseball. You did have a great catch at Camden Yards. You robbed somebody of a home run, but it seems like you and the Orioles had some good games with each other. You played in Seattle during 1997 when you played them in the ALDS, and I have a clip. What happened here on this hit here? Were you trying to stretch it out, and it looks like Brady Anderson threw you out at second base? So, yeah. Well, let's look at it real quick here. Yeah. You got a nice swing there, right down the line. Yeah, you're like, I want to be greedy. and then oops, over Almar, and you got thrown out. But what happened there? Were you just trying to just get second base?
No, it's I was a pull hitter, so I never really hit the ball the other way very much. I think Jack McDowell was pitching. Jack McDowell. Or I'm not sure who the starter was, but I remember he had black socks, and he wore his socks up high. I forget his name. That being said, I hit a ball past Ripken. He was dove down the line, and it was BJ Surhoff that threw me out. I don't know why he was playing me over there, but I never hit the ball there, and it was close, but it wasn't that close. Joe Morgan, actually, the late great Joe Morgan, fried me, and that was during the playoffs, and it was like that was the worst thing that any player has ever done. It's like, man, I was trying to get into scoring position. I think we were losing 5-2 at that time, and I thought I hit a double.
Well, talk about the battles.
If I had to do it over again, I'd do it again.
Yeah,
they were good. Baltimore, they were good then. They won. They won 100. What's that?
They won 100 games, 97, and then all of a sudden the ownership decided Davey Johnson to go somewhere else, and I think that was dumb, as my opinion. Yeah, because Davey Johnson was doing a very good job in Baltimore.
Yeah, no, you know what? They were very, very good. We had a really good team. We obviously Randy Johnson was the ace of our staff, and we had an all-star lineup, and they ended up beating us in the playoffs. I truly enjoyed playing there. I wish that I had an opportunity to play there. I loved Camden Yards. It was a good place to hit. I did hit a couple home runs off Moose Messina. And I think that the heritage in Baltimore was awesome as far as baseball.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Messina a couple of years ago on the phone, and I asked him, I said, you used to get him and Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas tore him up when he first came up, pitching against Frank Thomas. And I said, what did you do differently to change that? He goes, well, I decided to use a curveball because I realized if I threw a fastball, it would have landed in somewhere in the middle of Baltimore City or up in Chicago because Frank Thomas had that power. What was it? Speaking of pitching, what was it like being in the field with Randy Johnson? Randy Johnson, who used to throw gas. He was like the fireball. It wasn't like playing behind him, hearing that pop.
Well, you're so far away, you don't really hear that, but he was just very, very dominating. And another scenario happened when Randy was pitching. We were in Texas, and I got put into the game as a defensive replacement. And Will Clark hit a ball down the left field line, a blooper down the left field line. I ran it. I was going to try to throw him out at second base. It came out of my hand and just kind of flipped into the stands. So he ended up getting a triple. We ended up winning the game 3-2 or 2-1, something like that. But he was really, really fun to play behind and to be a teammate of. You know, he was very, very mild mannered, if you can believe that. But on the mound, he was strictly business, and he wanted to get it done. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I started up we've been doing this since 2007, and I was like, I want to interview Randy Johnson when he was at Oriole Park, when he was with the Diamondbacks, and he was injured 2 days before he came to Baltimore, and I was meeting with the Arizona PR guy, and he goes, out of all the interviews that he said no to, he said yes to you guys. I'm like, really? What for? Because I was talking about the New York Penn League, and he pitched in the New York Penn League, and at the time we had Aberdeen, and all that stuff, and I'm thinking, like, here's little old me who doesn't even know him, and he wanted to, if he wasn't injured, I was going to have a nice conversation with Randy Johnson, who basically, I thought he was the greatest pitcher besides Nolan Ryan.
No, Randy was a really good teammate. Obviously, phenomenal, pitcher on the field, but really, really down to earth teammate and gentleman.
Yeah. Real quick, before I let you go, I was doing some also research. Did you work in China with the China's baseball team, the league? Did you there? Did you have it like working in China? Is he there?
Yes, I was in. I spent in Taiwan with a club and trying to help their hitting program.
Yeah, what's different between Chinese baseball and American baseball? It's basically the same. You got the little white ball and you throw it, the stuff. Is everything different? Do they have any different ways of doing it? I think we're having connection problems here. New.
Years.
Rob, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, here. I'm having internet something wrong. But go ahead, keep going. Sorry.
Okay. All right. There is definitely a difference between the style of play between Japan and Taiwan, and also Korea. But as far as the game itself, I think that, but the defense, the pitching, the base running, the little nuances in the game, the attention to detail could be better, no doubt. They are, like I said, they swing the bat. There's teams over there that hit over 300 as a team, so it's very offensive minded.
That's true. Well, Rob, thank you so much for coming on this morning. I appreciate you taking some time to join us. We love talking to former major leaguers and hearing their story and all that stuff. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll have you down the road.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for coming on. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that's Rob Uski, who is a former major leaguer who spent time with he was drafted by the Blue Jays in 1984 and moved on to different organizations as well. Well, we're going to wrap up the show here, but we're going to take the last 5 minutes of this program to send our condolences to a very fine reporter who came on this program a lot of times during the early days of Herbie FM radio. We did it on the radio side, the college sports, college football tonight, and a couple times on Uski and Herbie and all that stuff. Sabanji, who very good reporter for Notre Dame, spent a lot of time talking to Coach Kelly football, a lot of knowledge about Notre Dame football. Sadly, this past Sunday he passed away at age 58, and here at Herbie FM radio, and the folks here we do at Uski and Herbie, we want to send our condolences to Lou and his family, and we hope hope everybody's okay. And it's really sad that, folks, you got to realize, life is too short. You never know. If you go out and play tennis or anything, it's very tough. So here at Herbie FM Radio, we appreciate his work, and we want to say thank you to him. And sadly he passed away, and hopefully we'll get this picture on here. So let's bring it back up here. So hopefully you guys should see this picture. That's Lou, who there he is. Yeah, Lou, who passed away at just 58 years old. We're just going to take a moment of silence here on Herbie FM Radio. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight, this morning. Thanks to our guests joining us this morning here on the program, like Coach Sean Reed. They have a big game this weekend. Coach Ben Tyler, who is driving to Arlington, Virginia, to play GW, and also to Nikki Murphy. Hopefully, she has a great birthday today, and all as well. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 6:45. Schedule here. Yeah, tomorrow night at 6:45. We'll do this again, but it'll be at 6:45 in the evening. We'll preview the SBS football playoffs. Now to then, I'm Chris Heidel. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the weather. Hopefully the weather's nice wherever you are, and go out, get outside and enjoy. Have a great day.